thinking about in terms of a better and a greater world for all people. And we can't do that by me in one corner doing what I can do to hurt you and you in the other corner doing the same thing against me.
Welcome, 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 NBA TB family. This evening, I got the pleasure of speaking with the lovely Sadiqa. This evening, Sadiqa and I are going to be discussing how the physical body can affect the mental aspect as well. She suffered with several illnesses, if I can say. Is that correct?
Brain surgeries.
See, she suffered with several brain surgeries. That's deep. So we're going to talk about how that has affected her mental status as well as the physical. So I'm going to turn it over to her. So, but before we begin, can you just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
Okay. Again, I'm Sadiqa. My last name is Brown. I'm 49 years old. I'm a mother of 3 beautiful grown children and a beautiful granddaughter.
Hey.
And what more can I say about that? I come from a loving family. We don't discriminate. We don't hold judgment. We don't hate. You know, I come from a very loving home. Awesome. And that's how I raise my children to be as well.
That's what's up. We need more of that in the world. That's the way it's supposed to be. So take us back to, we mentioned the brain surgery. So take us back to when you first started going through this. Like, what happened?
Wow. So as you can see, I wear glasses. And it was almost time for me to get my yearly eye exam. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, well, maybe it's time for me to get my exam because I'm having these symptoms. I pretty much started becoming dizzy, you know, real dizzy when I would turn my head a certain way. When I'm walking, I would notice I'm drifting more to one side, not walking straight. Then I started having double vision, especially like when I'm driving, because the motion of how my head is turning, I would get double vision. I'm like, Dad, my eyes must really be messed up. Okay, let me call her and see if I can, you know, get in sooner because, excuse me, I just don't know what's going on. So I did that, and this was like in 2006 when I found out. So I went to the eye doctor, and I had been with her for years, so we had a real good rapport with one another. And she's like, you know, she was looking at my eyes, doing the various tests, and she went a little further in the eye exam because she just, I guess, was curious or saw something to be like, wow, is this really what I saw? So at that point, she was like, you know, I'm going to recommend you to a neurologist. She's who I send, you know, a lot of my patients to when I feel that there could be something going on, but, you know, we want to make sure.
Right.
So at that point, I'm like, in my mind, this seems like a little more than what she might be saying, but don't want to say, you know.
Yeah, something suspicious. She sees something on the, so this was from a x-ray of the eye, like what?
No, just your regular yearly eye exam for people who have to get their eyes checked.
And I wear glasses, so just a typical eye exam, and they see something through the lens of.
Yeah, she did more, more eye exam, examination to see further as to what could really be going on. Especially I was having double vision. That's more, optical. She's assuming since she's an ophthalmologist.
Okay. So that was the first symptom. I didn't mean to cut you off. So that double vision was the initial symptom that prompted you. Something's going on.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely that, and just dizziness.
Dizzy. Okay. All right. So
yeah.
Now you're going to another doctor because something seems kind of fishy.
Yeah. So I saw the neurologist that she recommended me to see, and she did all the neurological examinations that they do to test for certain things. At the time I didn't know because that was my first visit seeing someone like that. So She did a series of tests and she was like, I need you to get, I want you to get an MRI and a CAT scan done. And this is where you need to go and schedule it immediately. Okay, you tell that's what I need to do. Of course, at this point I was nervous because I'm like, something, is up, but she doesn't know. She needs confirmation.
Yeah.
So this was all within a week. So maybe the next day I scheduled, I went to get the MRI and stuff done. And the next day, 'cause I went to work and everything, I was still working, went to work. The next day at work, I'm sitting at my desk and my cell phone rings. She said, hi, Miss Brown. I said, yes. Hold on 1 minute.
Mm-hmm.
I said, this is she.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, this is Dr. So-and-so from, the neurologist. Listen, I got the MRI and, CAT scan results. And can you talk? Are you somewhere where you can talk? At this point, I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, let me, step away from my desk and take the call outside on the terrace that we had at the time. So I did that. She was like, okay, well, I need you to listen to me very carefully. Is there someone that can pick you up from work? So, me hearing all of this, I'm like, the fuck is going on?
Exactly.
At this point, I'm
Yeah,
about to
go
cry
ahead.
because I don't know what she's talking about, but I know something,
Yeah.
And I said, yeah. She said, okay, well, listen, I need you to report to George Washington University Hospital immediately. Go to their emergency room and they are expecting you. I said, okay. At this point, tears are coming down, but I didn't know why.
Of course. But
Yes.
there's something. Something. That's, I mean, at this point, there's something that's serious going on.
Yeah. So I said, she said, we found a big mass on your brain. So I'm like, I literally said, what? Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I found out.
Wow. So they said we found a big mass on your brain. And so now you just have to sit and marinate on that. I mean, like what? I know your reaction was crying, but like, what did you think? Did you think I'm going to die? Like immediately? Like, what was your thought process when they told you that?
Yeah, I immediately thought cancer,
death.
like instant, like this is, I mean, it's so big to the point we can't save you. We can't do anything about it.
That's what they said?
No, that was
your process. You're right.
Yeah.
So now you find out that there's a mass, right? Did they, at that particular point, was it malignant? Was it, or benign? Like what?
They had no idea because because she's a neurologist. She specializes in that, but she doesn't know she can't specify what type of tumor it was. I don't think, but I could be wrong. I just don't recall because I had to go to them, to GW because that's what she knew. That's what she saw.
Right. Okay, so now you're at now. Okay, so
this was on a Friday. So I had to spend the weekend in the hospital.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, so you spent the weekend in the hospital. I was going to say you didn't spend the weekend at home having to absorb.
No, because
that's right. They sent you immediately.
They didn't know what this was. They had to run tests. They had to do a whole bunch of blood work, family history, because it was the biggest one that they had seen in an adult. So yeah, my type of tumor is very rare.
So now you're at GW on a Friday. Or did you report the next day, or that you went that same
No,
day?
I had to report immediately.
Right. What did they finally, diagnose you with?
I have a cholesterol granuloma.
Say what?
Yeah, it's a cholesterol like the if you have high cholesterol, it's called cholesterol, but it's granuloma.
Like, what does that mean? Like, I know it's a cancer, but what?
No, it's non-cancerous, no cancer. It's not a cancerous, no.
So it was not cancerous.
No,
What does
no.
it attack? What does it, you have an overload of cholesterol in your brain? Like what?
No, see, this is because it looks like, I guess, how cholesterol will look in your blood. It's like oily brown, dark type of liquid fluid.
Right.
So that's probably why they call it that, because it gives those type of characteristics, but maybe not as specific as real cholesterol. But so yeah.
So what does the surgeries, what are they doing? What are they
Well,
for?
oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even answer the question because I got up to the description of it. But
All right.
I'm like, I get, this is very passionate for me because I've been dealing with this for so long. And,
Right.
I've told this story hundreds of times. So this is something that, I'm passionate about talking about.
And people
So
need to know. I mean, because
yeah,
I don't mean to cut you off, because things can affect the body physically, but not only does it affect the body, there's a mental aspect to it, as well. You're battling with that in your mind as well. So it can take a toll on both. So no, it needs to be talked about. This is something I've never heard about. And of course, you look normal, and I would treat you as such. But
yeah,
I don't know what your mental is, because you're dealing with something that's an ongoing battle. So people need to know these things about people. But so yeah, let's go back to what you were saying.
Oh, so when they told me what it was, and this is only what I guess in the medical field speculate what could have been the cause of this type of tumor in a grown-up, pretty much. And I was in my maybe, I think, early 30s, I want to say. It's been so long. But yeah, and this stemmed from maybe an ear infection that never completely healed even after taking, your medicine and stuff like that. It's a form of real old blood cells that collect over the decades, but it's slow growing. And it presented itself in 2006 with the symptoms that I had because it had gotten so big at this point.
The cells have attached themselves to one another and formed
this huge cholesterol granuloma.
Wow.
But it's a slow growing type of tumor. So that's why it took up until 2006 for the symptoms to really appear to be like, hey, something's not supposed to be here.
Right.
And it's a brainstem tumor. It's not like in the middle of your head, or it's like in your brainstem, in the most dangerous part.
So how does that there's no cure, I'm assuming. Does it come back?
Not for where mine is located. There are other people that actually have these type of tumors. I'm actually, and I'm so proud to say, my specialists are at Johns Hopkins. Of course, one of the world's most leading international hospitals, treating all types of ailments or illnesses that people could possibly have around the world.
Yeah.
So
definitely shout out to Johns Hopkins for sure.
Yes, I had one of the most amazing neuro teams. I'm still with my neurosurgeon present day as he monitors me yearly. He performed 5 of my surgeries, and I had the other 2 surgeries at GW. So we have an awesome relationship. I'm actually used as a teaching tool for his department and the surgery that he performed on me, because it was a huge deal for Hopkins and for his team. So
Wow.
um that's why I say that this is so so passionate for me talking about it, because I'm here, I'm a teaching tool. This wasn't cancerous for a reason. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
here, my brain is
Yeah.
here to help other people and other surgeons around the world dealing with the same issue and
Yeah.
how to
Yeah.
treat it, how to go about getting it, so
Yeah. So you said 7 surgeries. I heard you
yeah,
mention 7. Is that 5
yeah,
with the team you're with now and 2 at GW?
yeah.
Um,
hmm
any
Because
more or those
we
that's
had to get
all?
a second opinion. We
Okay.
had to get a second opinion, dealing
The
with something
opinions
like
are through
this.
surgeries?
Yeah, especially with my case, because it was so rare,
Mhm.
and their approach of how they wanted to try to remove it would have had me disfigured in my face.
Wow.
And I would have had to go through plastic surgery and things like that to correct the scarring and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So, my mom, who at the time was working for a bomb company with
Mm,
brilliant people or analysts for like the Pentagon and
mm.
things of that nature, they told her about my surgeon. They helped to research the very best because they knew my mother's value and worth, and they knew me because I grew up in that company.
That's what's up.
So yeah, so that's how I was connected to Hopkins and met
That's good.
one of the
So
best surgeons.
that's yeah, no, they are definitely known for doing the damn thing. I mean,
hmm
whatever you think of, if it's something rare or something that needs research or more, work done on it, they send you to John
hmm
Hopkins. Um,
Yeah,
so 7 surgeries, is that all that you've had? I mean, that's enough. I don't want you to have any more, but is that
yeah.
all?
That's all the brain surgeries, and I had one surgery outside of that to try to help with the residual chronic pain that I still deal with as a result of all the brain surgeries. I had nerve surgery behind in my neck to see if that'll kind of help with certain pain ailments.
Has it?
Um, no, that was unsuccessful.
Sorry.
I deal with nerve pain, and that is one of the most difficult um things to treat, chronic pain issues to treat, because you have so many nerves in the brain that control certain things, and by my nerves being inflamed and irritated after all the surgeries, that's something that is hard to treat. You have this trial and error with each medication until they finally figure out what could help balance you out. So
It's
yeah,
still a battle.
yeah, nerve pain it has its days, stress is a major agitator for anyone who suffers from nerve pain.
Right,
Stress is a killer for it.
right.
I went through it.
So stress really brought you down. I mean, it brought some of the physical pain because of the mental, stress on your brain. Basically, it'll make your body react. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
to be in
exactly what that does.
pain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how has that affected you? Like, first and foremost, if I may ask you, so with the pain,
Mm-hmm.
you look good to me. Everything is good.
So,
I
yeah,
wouldn't I
that's
wouldn't
the
just look at you and assume anything. Now,
that's the thing with when you have chronic pain issues that aren't physical.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I have chronic pain. It's within, it's my head pain that debilitates me sometimes when it gets really, really bad. So
And
people,
when you say debilitating, what is that? Like you don't get out the bed, like you don't, I mean,
mhm,
it puts you down.
yeah, it puts me down. It's like having, it's not even similar to a migraine, because it's like, it feels like somebody is just taking something and just pounding your head. It's like the worst headache you've ever had. Like, feels like your head is about to explode. And I don't think migraine patients suffer from that type of head trauma. You know what I'm saying? As
Wow.
far as feeling like their head's about to explode.
Yeah,
I don't hear
yeah.
that much from migraine sufferers at all.
Right,
But
right. I don't think it's that bad.
that's
I
how
have
it,
a migraine, but
yeah, this is
not,
how
I'm
it,
pretty sure
it
not
affects
like yours.
me.
What the,
Hmm.
but so when you go through that, how is that affecting you on a regular mental note, like for your everyday living? Like, has that affected you relationships with the kids? Because they were still young when you went through this initially.
Hmm.
How did it, how did you
Yeah.
deal with them? Let's forget the relationships for right now. How did you deal with the kids going through
Um,
that?
that's what family is for.
So
I
everybody
haven't, I
gathered,
haven't,
the
yeah, I
village.
mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, my mother was, Merce can't even express how she was during those times.
That's
Yeah.
what's up. And then what about
Hmm.
relationships? Like, how is it with relationships as far as when you have those down moments? If are they do they come often where you're just like you can't get out of bed or you're just completely debilitated, like you said? Is that often?
Um, not as often because I don't live a stressful life. Um, you know, I've been removed from all the toxicity that I was in that caused me to be in so much pain, physical pain, um, for so many years. And I didn't even realize it until it got so bad that it really literally affected my work,
Yeah,
because the work that I did was stressful enough.
yeah,
And then me not knowing that I'm also suffering from um major depression that I didn't really know I had.
hmm,
Um, but you have the stress of your life outside of work, your life at work, and then the pain from multiple surgeries, all
yeah.
that takes a toll on you.
Oh yeah,
And,
and
you
it'll step
know,
on your shoulder at some point and drill you down to the floor. I mean,
yeah,
and stand on
especially,
you. Yeah,
yeah,
it
it
can do that.
takes certain situations, I think, to really, to fully bring out
Hmm.
anybody's depression. It takes a bad situation to bring out, I think, certain types of mental illnesses that you really didn't even know existed.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. So do you feel like was it a pile up of I know you mentioned relationships and all of it does go together because, if one thing is unhealthy, it can make something that's healthy become unhealthy, because you try to keep that balance, but if it's really unhealthy over here, then it's hard to keep, both together, but at the same, what I'm saying, level. But how did do relationships affect you? I'm sorry, was it the relationships that made you depressed, or was it the physical aspect of the head trauma, you know what I'm saying, that you were going through? The medical aspect, did that make you depressed?
Um, I didn't know it at the time that it was, I had been going through it for so long until a breaking point came about, and I was like, so these two do go hand in hand. I later found out.
Mm-hmm.
But life itself is stressful, you know what I'm saying? And depending on what type of work you do, that can also be stressful. So you have so many things going on, and your illness has kicked up 1,000% because of all these other things that are going on at the same time.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
So my nerves were like, oh, what the fuck is going on? Something big is going on.
It's like everything is staring up inside of you going crazy. Yeah,
hmm
yeah.
So yeah, we've kicked it up a notch. So something has to give, because I don't want you to be back where you were, having
Mhm.
to get another surgery, or die from stress.
You're right. You're right. That is, I mean, that definitely goes along
Yeah.
with the physical. I mean, that is a big, people don't think so, but stress is a big, big part
Mhm.
of being healthy because it plays a part with the physical aspect of our
Mhm.
bodies.
Yeah.
So how was, do you feel like, I know, are you married or were you married when you went through this, when you went through these surgeries?
No, not when I was going through the surgeries, the chronic pain issues
You
more
were married.
so.
So you were married going through the
Mhm.
chronic pain issues. Do you feel like that he understood like what you were really going through and really catered to that? Or you know what I'm saying? Like, did they really understand or kind of did things from their perspective? Or did they really understand you?
I don't think people truly understand what anybody is going through,
Hmm.
even though they may try to explain it to them the best way that they can.
Hmm.
But that's just not explainable, not for me anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And for someone to really truly know what to do.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but I think for sure that, well, know for sure that stresses from relationships, being romantic relationships or, regular
Yes.
heterosexual
Hmm.
um, relationships with one another. Um, it's something else.
Because
I
when
mean,
you in
it's
pain, you can push people away when you're in pain. So like in a relationship, or a friendship, like you said, and I don't mean that just from a romantic standpoint, because any
yes.
relationship, when you're in
Then
pain, you can push people away too. Did you allow people to, like your friends, if you had any, or that romantic person, did you allow them to be there? Or did you kind of push them away, because you were going through something and you kind of wanted to be left alone?
no, I've never been that type of person. Like if someone, was genuinely trying to help me,
Mm,
then I'm very accepting of that. But if I don't feel that, then I'm going to put up some type of resistance to protect myself,
right.
So I think, each situation is different,
Yeah, yeah.
depending on, the person that you're dealing with,
If you're
being
with.
it your spouse or your friends.
Yeah, yeah. So
Hmm.
what is the current state of your medical diagnosis? Do you still, will you ever get rid of this, or is it something that stays forever?
No, it's with with the nerves, they regenerate. I forgot how slow they rejuvenate,
Mhm.
but they're like tree branches. It takes a long time for
Okay.
a tree
Okay.
to fully
Yeah.
form.
Yeah.
Your nerves are branches
Mhm.
throughout the canals in in the
Right.
blood vessels and all that stuff. So,
So the what was the brain? What was it called again? What they
uh,
diagnosed you with? Who?
yeah, it's cholesterol granuloma.
Cholesterol granuloma. So
Yeah,
you still have that?
yeah. Now the difference with my tumor is its location.
Right. Right.
Because I don't know if I mentioned there have been, I'm the one of the studies that Hopkins uses as their world teachings in
Right.
reference to my type. Um, the reason why they use mine is because of the location. It was in such a rare location. It's located in the brainstem,
Right.
and what happens is it connected itself around my carotid artery. So that's why mine can't be removed because of the location.
Oh,
If it
right.
99% chance I probably would die if I try to remove it
Yeah.
because it's next to my carotid artery. So it's like in a shell. It's formed of a thick lining. It's like a shell. All they can do is go in and carve around it in a sense, but what they're carving out is the fluid because it's a fluid
Ah,
collecting tumor.
So
that
that's what
goes through these
makes
little
you
channels.
right. So that's where all the surgeries come in. They
Yes.
constantly go in and do what you just said to just relieve some of the pressure, I guess.
Well, the first two surgeries, it was pretty much a trial because they had no idea what, I'm not saying they didn't know what they were doing, but
Yeah.
it was new for them because, like I
Yeah.
said, it's the biggest that they had ever seen in this type of tumor. So their first approaches were to go through the nose and get to it because it's like also encaved into the sinus cavity. So they can go through the nose to drain it. So those are my first two surgeries that I had was through the nose. Two brain surgeries was through the nose, yeah. I had two because the first one, they didn't think it would recollect. It recollected, like, so I had surgeries kind of back to back,
Mhm.
through the nose. Once it healed, they, went back. But before any of the surgeries, while they were trying to figure out how they were going to treat it, I was on all types of anti-inflammatory medications, steroids, a whole bunch of stuff because
Were you on pain medicine too? Did they have you on pain
yeah,
medicine?
I was on all types. This is when they first found out,
Right.
after I was
Okay.
released from the hospital. I couldn't work. I wasn't working. Um, it was a lot.
I
So,
know it was. And
yeah.
I can no, I don't know it was. Let me not say
And
that. I can imagine.
I was a single mother with three, yeah. So it was a lot that I was dealing with on that,
Yeah.
back then,
And that's what I'm talking
but
about, the mental aspect of that. That's what I want to talk about. Like, how did you like make it? I mean, like you said, your mother has been a strong force, but
yeah.
like you yourself, like, how did that make you feel? Like, how did it make you feel?
Um, hmm. It made me feel like, heck, like, why me? That was my main thing, why me? Because I've been going through so much, and there's so
Mhm.
much a person can take on sometimes without without asking that question, why me, right? I
Mhm.
mean, it's just
Mhm.
something I think it's a
Yeah.
common sense thing that people would
Yeah.
ask,
Yeah.
why me?
Yeah.
So I think I never blamed myself, that's for sure, because I knew it
Yeah.
wasn't my fault. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So I would never do
Yeah.
that.
Exactly.
Um, but
It was just a lot, like a single mother, you can't work, you got diagnosed with this. So that's like you're strong to get through
yeah.
all of that and still raise them and still be able to sit here and speak with
Mhm.
me. A lot of people, you could be sitting here right now. And I don't, are you addicted to pain medicine?
Oh, not at all. Because the
Right.
thing is, um, I'm a different person now than I was when I first found out.
Mm,
Then while I was in different relationships,
mm.
up until yesterday. Every day I'm a different person, but
Yeah.
I'm just different in the sense that I don't, necessarily have to rely on those type of pain meds anymore unless it's something that I cannot control. And at that point, that's when I go to the emergency room,
Uh-huh. Mhm,
and let them manage it that way.
mhm,
But since I'm under Hopkins care, I mean, a lot of doctors anyway don't even give you anything stronger than maybe a Tylenol with codeine or something like that, just
mhm.
because of that whole so-called
Yeah, the opiate crisis
campaign
and
that
all this.
this other administration put into place. But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah,
we all know what that was
yeah,
about,
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
save white lives.
exactly. You know it. Yeah.
Um,
You know it. Call
so
it what it is.
yeah,
So,
that's
so,
exactly what it was.
so
So no, I'm not no,
pain
I've
medicine.
gotten, yeah.
Did you go down that road? Have you ever been down that road? Because I can only imagine. Like, and one would start off. Well, I ain't even gonna say start off. You need you're in pain, but our body gets addicted to it, unfortunately, and you become dependent on it. Did you ever go down
Yeah.
that road?
Actually, I want to say maybe 2000. 17 into 18, towards the, I would say 2000, right before, it was in November of 2017, I think. Yeah. I was really going through some very, 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 very stressful times. Where I had to take at least maybe 6 perks a day. Like, you take them every 2 to 3 hours or whatever, however it goes. I don't even remember. But my pain was so bad that I had to take 2 at a time. So I had to keep taking them.
Yeah.
And what I later found out, the reason why people who actually suffer from chronic pain to take pain meds, not talking about people to take them to get high, there's a difference in how it's treated.
Right.
People that actually have pain issues and they take the same repetitive medications, you get rebound pain. Like they stop working for you because you've taken them so much, but you don't realize it because you're in so much pain.
Yeah.
So I think it's different how it should be classified. People who are addicted to pain meds, who are seriously chronically ill, than people taking pain meds to get high, because there's a huge difference, and I don't think that's talked about enough.
No, I agree with that.
There's a big difference in addiction. Feel me? Because my pain got so bad that my surgeon recommended me to Johns Hopkins pain management program so I can be monitored to try to get this pain under control, because it was killing me. It was killing me.
The headaches?
Not just the headaches, but it affected my blood pressure. I mean, there were a couple of times when I could have seriously died if I didn't get to someone's medical care. Like, it happened once at work. That's how fucked up the workplace is for people with disabilities who they don't give them proper accommodations so they can continue to be well, so they can fucking be productive at work.
I agree with that.
Right. And I am an advocate for those with disabilities in the workplace with discrimination, because I lived it. I'm still living it, because I no longer work for the federal government. And that's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Those who know me, who really know me and know what I've gone through, what my story is, they know what I'm talking about. Exactly. But I had to put that out there because too many people like us get discriminated against. And when we ask for the proper help so we can be more productive.
Yeah, because you want to work. It's not like I don't want to work. I'm here.
But right, not be stressed out. Yeah, but you have to accommodate us so we can take our meds, not have to miss all these days to work because we're too sick to go to work, because you're not helping us out, because you're discriminating. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always going to have.
When you say help us out or discriminating, what do you mean by that? And that's not being, you don't have to get no specifics about, but what do you mean when you say help y'all out or accommodate you?
Okay. They're called reasonable accommodations. It's in the federal workplace and the private sector, in which your agency or your workplace accommodates people with disabilities, because we have all the proper documentation that they need from our specialist doctors or whomever's care we're under, to let our jobs know your employee is disabled. They need this, they need that to perform on the job.
That's correct. Period. Yeah, I can understand that. Exactly. And your diagnosis that they have given you, is that considered a disability? So would you be on that?
There's certain criteria with anything in this world, unfortunately. Well, I would say in the United States, you have to answer to in order for them to recognize you in a certain class.
Okay.
So yeah, you have to prove your case, your disability. Wow. because mine wasn't visible. Right. You couldn't see it.
Yeah, but still
employers don't believe it. They don't believe in you. They don't believe in what proper documentation from experts who are in, you know what I'm saying? Like, how you gonna?
You're just making an excuse. There's nothing wrong with you. Doesn't look like nothing wrong with you, so there's nothing wrong.
Do they know how many doctors would lose their licenses if they just said, "Oh yeah, she got a disability"? Oh,
Right.
nah.
So you got basically discriminated against on the job because of it was affecting you. I mean, because I can imagine, especially with head trauma or nerve damage in where your brain is, that I'm pretty sure that's
Because
excruciating
it
pain.
brings it heightens any pain that you have related to your injury.
Mm,
It heightens it no matter what medications you've been on for decades. It heightens it, so nothing is working because you're stressed on
right.
top of pain. And that's why they say pain goes hand in hand with depression.
Right.
Pain goes hand in hand with stress, because if you're not stressed out, you're not going to be in as much pain all the time. But stress irritates your body.
That's true.
It kills you. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
that's true.
It causes other things on top of what you're already dealing with.
Right.
Like, I never had issues with high blood pressure.
Mhm.
That level of pain that stress was causing me caused my pressure to be to points where, like I said, I had to leave from work and go to the emergency room, taken by an ambulance to go to the emergency room once. And then a wonderful colleague of mine took me, but it, yeah.
Because of the workplace pressure that you were under, because you were already
Workplace,
going through pain.
workplace stress. I wasn't
Yeah.
being treated fairly, things like
Right.
that. It takes a toll on you. It takes a toll on you, and then it takes a toll on your mental health as well.
So
Because
how do you feel today? I know you said you're no longer with the federal government. That's deep. I mean, it's the federal
yeah,
government.
I was blessed that others saw truth in my conviction,
Mhm.
and I was granted early retirement disability.
Awesome.
Early
Awesome.
retirement
Awesome.
disability.
You hear her, God
Something
dang?
that, oh, she ain't nothing wrong with her. Yeah, we getting over it. God blesses who are the believers and who keep the faith. Bottom line, you know what I'm saying? So
And I'm glad you got what you deserved and what was rightfully yours.
absolutely. And I'm going to keep fighting until justice is served.
So you're still going through stuff. I mean, with you making that statement, and you keep fighting. I mean, because right is right and wrong is wrong. I mean,
And
it is what it is.
that is my fight. That is what I need to be shown, is that right is right and
Mhm.
wrong is fucking wrong.
That's true. I mean, it's just as black and white as that. Just as simple. So
Yeah.
how are you feeling today? I know you have this fight ahead of you, and you're staying strong and don't give up on that, especially when you know you're right, you fight for that.
Yeah.
What do you, how are you feeling today as far as like, with your mental health?
Um, I've gotten better because I just know how to deal with it a little better. But don't get me wrong, I struggle with it every day.
Mhm.
It's not something that goes away.
Right.
Um, you just try to adjust and see what works for you, what doesn't. Um, because it affects everybody so different, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because it's depression for me. Somebody that's bipolar, somebody that's schizophrenic, somebody that has mood disorders, or somebody that has um just any other type of
Mental illness.
mental illness I can think of right now.
Mhm.
It affects everybody different, but each of them has depression in
Yeah.
that mental illness.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I mean, I'm just blessed that I'm not in high stress situations such as work, because work is a stressor for me.
Right, right.
That's what triggers and keeps my pain how I don't like it to be.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm retired, I still have stresses. Life is
Yeah.
stressful, but I try to be as stress-free as I can because I know that it will debilitate me, and I don't want to go to that place.
Yeah, because it's a trigger.
So that's why I'm just glad I was blessed with this disability because I don't have to be in those situations where I could die
Exactly, exactly. Yeah,
because I'm
because
so stressed out and it has affected my health,
and it's
and
already happened to you, so you've seen it firsthand and know what stress can do to you. So, because it
yeah.
happened. I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad that I'm glad that I'm actually glad that you're out of the job. I mean, it's
Oh, yeah.
it's unfortunate that you had to go through that, and it wasn't fun, of course, going through it, but
No.
things happen for a reason.
And that's, and that's why I said I'm such a different person than I was 5 years ago, let alone yesterday. I look at things in a whole different level, in a spiritual level for me, because I know if I didn't have the faith that I had then,
Mhm.
that I have now, it's like it's up here, I wouldn't be the woman that I am at this very moment as I'm speaking to you. Um, I just wouldn't,
Yeah,
and
and
this is always,
it's deep because you could have fell apart. I mean, clearly you could have fell apart going
mm-hmm,
through the physical pain and then dealing with stress added to that, especially at the workplace where we all feel like, most people feel like that's something you need. You don't have a choice. You got kids and
yeah,
bills to pay, so that is a lot, added
yeah,
already to the
mm-hmm,
body, so I can only
yeah,
imagine suffering from both together and nobody
mm-hmm,
even understanding to the point where even think that I would fake this, so I
mm-hmm.
think that that's very deep, and I think you're very strong to be, like I said, sitting here not addicted to drugs, not giving
Yeah. I mean, I
out
could have
being a
been
pity party.
so many things, and
Right.
I say that all the time. I could have been alcoholic. I could have been a drug addict.
Yes, it
Um,
happens. It does happen,
it does.
unfortunately.
I mean, it really does. And for people who haven't experienced pain, like I've experienced pain and others, you can't say, I don't know how they got to, look down on them because they were addicted to drugs because they had an illness. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes certain drugs don't work good for everybody for a long
It don't.
time.
It doesn't. And I have
Um,
learned along the way to shut my mouth and not judge people because you just don't know.
mm-hmm.
And things have
You don't.
happened in my life that I spoke on before and judged, and then it's you, and you're like, "What the hell? Oop! I should have shut my
That's
damn mouth." Because you don't
mm-hmm.
know unless it's happening to you. You really don't. So you have
No,
no right to judge the next person. You don't know what their
no,
battle or
not
struggle is. And that again is one of
mm-mm.
my reasons for starting this.
Yeah, because
So
it's so easy to do.
yeah, it is.
It
It is. It is. And
yeah,
I try not to live that way no more because we don't know what that does to other people's mental. And unlike yourself, people lose their self. They go off the deep end.
yeah, they can for
Whatever
sure.
route they take, they go off the deep end. And that is why that's a big reason why I'm doing this. So what do you have going on? Like, what is it? I know you mentioned some things to me that that you got in the works. So tell
Yeah.
everybody out there, what do they have to look forward to with Sadiqa? What do we have? What do we have on the horizon?
Well, definitely a beautiful story to tell. It's not going to be a bio. It's not going to be anything like that. Um, because people who know me already know me. I don't need to tell my life story, what happened to lead to this. No, it's something going to be completely different. Um, but it's definitely from the heart. It's my truth.
Right.
And it's something that I've always wanted to do. I've been journaling since I found out about it.
Mhm.
So it may have something to do with that because I've been journaling. But I do need assistance. Anybody who knows of any Black publishers in the DMV area, I really, really would like to speak with anybody who can offer that type of assistance. So that's what I really, really, really need people
That
to
sounds
know
good.
and that help assist me with. But that's what I'm doing now. And also, I've been blessed to watch my granddaughter during the
Hey, hey,
day.
that's what's
She's
up.
2, so she's a handful.
And you get to
Um,
instill that grandma. Hey, it's nothing like knowing your grandmother. Those stories, I can tell so many stories about my grandmother. I
yeah,
mean, to this day, when I think of that lady, man, it give me chills because I loved her so much. It's nothing like that. So that little girl, lucky.
yeah, yeah. And before we go, it's funny because when people see how young I am, they're like, "Oh wow, you're too young to be retired." I just look at them and be like, "You don't know what I've been through."
They have
And
no
I just
idea.
start laughing. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, I am young. I'm under 65.
Right,
People
right,
don't
right,
retire until they're 65, even, you know.
right, right.
So to be 49 still, it's still the physical that gets people, you know, but
And
like
it's
I
not
tell
like
them,
you want it. They don't know, like it ain't like I wanted to do this though.
right.
It is a good thing if you can, hey, but it's not like this is what I wanted to do. They don't know the story behind
Yeah,
the
that's the
fact that
thing
you're
that they
retired.
don't, yeah, that's the thing with people, they
And we
don't,
can't wait to hear it. We can't
I
wait.
can't, yeah, I can't wait to share it. So, I mean, and also if anybody else, has different platforms that they would like me to be a part of, um, you gave me the platform tonight. So, very appreciative of that.
Absolutely.
And, I look forward to doing, more with you, if
Of
the
course, you
opportunity
already
presents
know.
itself,
It will.
because it's something that we can both do to give back to our community specifically.
And I'm all about that. Listen, I always say I'm all about helping everybody. I'm all about the world. But
Yeah,
I in a good way. I don't mean this. I mean this in the most loving way possible. And people that know me know, they already know. But I have to get my people first. I have to reach back to my own first because some of us are lost,
yeah.
and but if anybody reaches out to me, I'm here. And that goes
Mhm.
for white, black, brown. I don't give a shit what color you are, you're human.
Yeah,
But as
there's a
far
difference.
yeah, it
Yes.
is. It is a difference. But for
Yeah.
me doing it, I gotta reach out to mines. I gotta
Yeah,
go.
you gotta take care of home first.
I have
I've
to.
always been a believer of that. You have to take care of home first
I got
because
to. I got to. We got
yeah.
to. My kids are gonna be left here after me. So I want a world of peace and love for them, for your grandchild.
Hmm.
If
Yeah.
we don't do it, then we're doomed to hell. We're going backward. But that's a whole nother story.
Yeah. I
What's your
know.
email address? Yeah, what is your email address? How can people that want to help or want to bring you to their platform, how can they
Okay,
reach
well,
you?
yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yes, I can be
If you
reached
care.
at,
Ain't no,
yes,
hey, listen, y'all, before she give this, and don't no crazies be reaching out to her, okay? She can give her email address. It's for business,
yes, serious inquiries
network.
only. Thank you.
Where can they
Um,
reach you?
yes, I can, you can shoot me something on Instagram. It's at number 3 LADIE 3 ladybugs.
I like that. All right.
Yeah, for my 3 girls. And then my email address, my first name, S as in Sam, ADIQA 1972 @gmail.
That's what's up, Sadiqa. Listen,
Yeah.
y'all, reach out to her. She's a lovely person, always been very sweet and continues to be.
Thank you.
Yeah, no,
Thank you.
and I mean it. It was a
I
pleasure
appreciate
having
it.
you.